All right. Welcome, everyone. Glad y'all are here tonight. Welcome, everybody here in person, everybody online as well. My name's Brett. I'm the director of the Career Center for the Marilyn Davies College of Business. Everybody here is so some of you may be brand new, first people to college. Been here a couple of years and later. Some of you may be close to graduating. Transfer students, we only get you for about 2 years. So all those categories are understandable. So we get that meeting together on top of it, right? Certainly encourage interaction. I don't think we have activity built in tonight, but I encourage you to have questions for ask those and or in person. Stop and answer your question. I really want to have more dialogue, see the questions you all might have. Before we start, you'll have to let me know who enters online, but those in person here, what major do you encourage? Accounting, marketing, Monday. Oh wow, that is you get overwhelming audience of accounting and marketing. So well, it's great. Tonight. So we're going to talk a little bit about the tools that we have in the Career Center, but we got some information in the back. We're back to that as well. But I'm going to just start with who we are. So essentially, we're here to be your partner in career success. Yes. We're here. Wow. Okay. That's pretty close. Hold on a second, I can try something. Okay. Oh, there we go. I can hear myself better now too. That's good. Okay, thank you. I thought it was just me. I was thinking as long as they can hear me online, the ones in person can hear me. Okay. All right. So for those who didn't hear, we just went through the majors that are represented with us here today. We have what, 3 supply chain and a marketing, I remember. And so hopefully online, we have a good mixture of students that are business majors, new or not new to the College of Business here at UHD. So we're really your partner in career success on the campus. Our Career Center serves just business majors, both undergrad and graduate. Of course, our undergraduate population is by far the largest in our college. So we stay really busy with our BBA level students, but we also see our graduate level students as well. So this is kind of an overview quickly of the services that we offer through our office. Career coaching and development. We're here to help you better understand what your major is, what you can do with that major, which employers look for your major, those types of things. It's okay to still be a little bit unsure about your major. It's okay to have questions, maybe even change your major at some point. That is not uncommon for college students. So we're here to help with that. We also help a lot with the job search, the internship search, networking. We'll talk about Gator Hire a little bit, but that's our platform we use where jobs and internships are posted by employers. We'll talk about VMOG, practice interviews. What most students know us for would be our big events like career fairs. We have the College of Business, we have 2 in-person career fairs, and then we're going to have one that's virtual. That may change in the spring. We may collaborate with the main career center. Actually, we can't do that till the fall. We're going to probably have one big one in the spring, and then we'll collaborate with the main career center probably next fall to have one big career fair for UHD, which will be nice. Okay. So the platform we use to really help our students with kind of career exploration. I don't know if this is familiar to anyone in here or online, but even when you've declared a major, or if you're still actually pre-business, you're still trying to figure out what would be the best major for you to pursue. So Focus 2 is the system we primarily use with our students. Don't know. Thank you. Wow. So sorry, y'all, for the technical issues tonight. We should all be much more on top of this. So thanks for bearing with us. All right. So what we're talking about is Focus 2, and hopefully this looks familiar, or if not, it will look familiar to you soon. In our college, we do have this system embedded as an assignment within our Business Cornerstone course. It's a 3,300 level course. So it's an entry level course. It's required of all business majors. Anybody in person or online that's taken that course now? Okay, we've got at least one person. So you might have already done this. Okay, good. So basically, it's not a test. There's no right or wrong answer, but essentially it is just you sharing the things you like, that you value, maybe the things you don't like as much. And then through that, the system then gives an output of typical career paths that might be suited for you, because essentially it's comparing what you value and all of that compared to other folks within those professions. And so if you share a lot of things in common, that profession might be a good fit for you too. You can then pull that back and connect it to a major that might be the best major to pursue, or one of the majors to pursue in order to pursue that type of position. For example, accounting major, if someone really likes keeping track of money, what you have left, what you don't, things like debits and credits and accounts receivable and accounts payable and all that good stuff, then accounting major is great preparation for any of the jobs within the accounting field, like audit and tax, those types of things. So this is just a starting point. It doesn't give you an answer and doesn't say you should be, but it gives you some ideas so that you can narrow down, a billion choices down to maybe like 50. And then you can start to work through those and researching those careers, interning, things like that to figure it out also. That system's available on our website, and we can help direct you to that anytime you need it. And it's available to you your whole time here at UHD, even when you graduate, although we hope you won't need it at that point. It's really more of a career exploration. But you will change every semester as a college student. You're going to grow and change. That's good. That's what you want. And so you may value certain things now. You might value them more or less next semester. So sometimes it's a good idea every once in a while to retake this, see what kind of results you get. Because if you're feeling frustrated or you're feeling like, I don't like that major, I'm not enjoying, I'm not doing well, then maybe it's not the right fit. Okay. Now this won't work. Okay. So I can get this to go forward. Okay. This just is not my night. Let's see. Okay. Is that the next one? Okay. All right. So keeping with the theme of testing things out before you make a long-term commitment, the major is a commitment, college is a commitment, but what you plan to do with it, that's a longer-term commitment, right? Or just as long a term. So Forge is a new system that's available to you all for free. It's embedded within the Navigate EAB system. I don't know what y'all call it as students, but there's a module within that system called Forage. And essentially Forage allows you to complete job simulations from real companies. So any big name company you can think of, they probably have a job simulation on there. So someone tell me their dream company. Really? You have dream companies. Microsoft, but Exxon. Okay, excellent. What about anybody you would just love to work for? What would have been your dream? Universal Studios. Yes. United Airlines. Yes, excellent. Shell. Okay. Tesla. Ooh, love it, love it. Okay, so I can't promise that they will have job simulations, but that will be job simulations of that level company that you'll see on here. And they rotate in and out. The great thing about it is, once again, it's not a test. It's not you have to do well because the company looks at it. They don't actually look to see how you do. So you can go in, you can totally bomb it. That's okay. The point is you learn something from it, right? So essentially, job simulation, it's like a project. And so they'll lay out a project for you that would be something an entry-level employee or an intern might complete. And then you go through it at your own pace, all online. And if you complete it, even if you don't complete it, you learn something about your major or that project that might tie back to your major or discipline. And then if you do well and you're interested in the company, you can indicate that through your account, and they will very likely reach out to you. You might actually get an interview because of that. So yes, so there's a great pro to it, but once again, there's no danger. There's nothing wrong with just trying, because they're not going to see if you totally bomb it. Okay. So I would encourage you all, start this now, because what's nice about it is we know that y'all are so busy. This you do at your own pace. These are real job simulations that up to this point, we've always had to work with companies to come on site or to work with us one-on-one through a course, through a professor, get the students. It's so much more involved. This, they're doing all the heavy lifting for us. We get this for free because we already use that platform for student records. So I encourage you to tap into this. We can give you more information if you want to reach out to us. Our office is still learning about it as well. I recently got access on the admin side, so I can kind of create things and then kind of send them to professors like in Cornerstone. But I haven't had time to look at it yet. But I know students are already using it, and I think it's really easy to use. So I encourage you to tap into it quickly. Vault is another resource that we use. It's a way to explore companies and industries. It has top ranked. Well, that's old, isn't it? 2015, but we have the current. It's always current because it's online subscription. It'll always have updated information. You can look at career guides for certain fields, like accounting, for example. It talks about all the different types of accounting that you can go into, all the different types of companies, types of positions. It gives examples of resumes. It talks about preparation and what kind of major should you pursue? What kind of certifications should you pursue? What about opportunities for advancement and salary and the job outlook and all those things? So another great resource for you that's free, and we can help direct you towards that as well. Yeah, so really good resource to tap into. And the whole thing here is to help you with your exploration, right? And you're just in the process of learning. Now, obviously, you're doing this outside of class a lot of times. Cornerstone, you get a grade to do this, which is what's so nice about that class. But the rest of the time, you just have to find time to kind of do this. And I know it's hard because is everybody here probably working part-time? Yeah. So even part-time and juggling school, if you're a full-time student, that's a lot. I know you're tired. You may have a job that keeps you there till 10 at night, or you may have later hours or really unusual hours that go from, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Something, who knows, right? I've been there. So these resources are a way to help you ensure that you can complete the things you're needing to do as part of your total college experience. BuzzFile is just another thing where you can look up companies that by major. So I had a student the other day who says, well, I'm really interested in so on and so forth. And they were an HR major. They could go there and see what companies tend to have HR opportunities. They can say everybody would, right? But I think it's more who's maybe currently offering internships that are HR related or full-time jobs. So it gives the student more up-to-date information so they can make the most of the time they have available. Houston Business Journal. So as business majors, what do you think employers are expecting from you all when they talk to you? Do you think they expect you to know what's going on in the business world, particularly in Houston? Yeah, they do. They do. This publication, it's a national publication, so every major city has a version of this. This is the one that's focused on Houston. So you could say it's kind of like newspaper in a way, but it's all online and it's all the business happenings in Houston. They also have internships and jobs. You can look up folks that are being promoted, who've moved into the area and are new working at a certain firm. And very interesting. You can also see which companies are moving into the area, which ones are merging, things like that. So I look at this all the time. I get some feeds in my email, and I'll often link out to the site to go look up something like, huh, what? They're building a what? And so then I put my team, I'm like, hey, be aware, this company is coming, and we want to make sure to connect with them as quickly as possible for the benefit of our students. That's a free resource you can access again. Okay, so Gator Hired, every day we work with companies so that we can help connect you with them. So the most ongoing thing every day would be through job postings, like full-time jobs that require a degree or an internship that requires you're on track for a degree. Those positions are funneled into the system we call Gator Hired. So the Central Career Center has the same platform, but they call it Jobs for Gators. What's different is Gator Hired, we don't usually allow you to see positions that represent majors outside of the College of Business, right? Because we know as an accounting major, you're not looking for like a nursing internship. As a supply chain major, you're not looking for a chemistry internship, right? So the systems are there to kind of filter out, but it also helps employers get direct connection to the groups that they're tending to go for as well. Now, as far as events and things, you have access often to the events the main career center is holding because they're still a UHD entity. And we want you to have access to everything you need. Sometimes you switch from non-business to business. Sometimes you switch from business to non-business, right? So it's always good to know the folks at both career centers. But Gator Hired is the name of the system we use specifically in the College of Business with employers and with our students for career-related opportunities. Okay. So it's a portal for career sources, job listings, all of our career fairs, workshops, information sessions are on there. We'll even post external workshops on there that we get from companies. And there are a bunch on there right now. I'm not going to pull up, especially because I'm having issues here. I'm not going to try to pull up the webpage, but go to Gator Hired through your account. And it's really easy to get there, by the way. It's just uhd.edu/Gator Hired. As an enrolled student, you already have an account and you just use your UHD credentials. Super easy, right? So your username, your network username, and your network password. You know what that is. You use it every day, right? To get into Canvas and sign up for classes, things like that. And once you're in, then you'll see all the things we have available for you through there. How are you? All right. So it's kind of already up on the screen, but what do you think the main thing is employers are looking from a student who's looking for an internship or a professional that's looking for a full-time job? That's the first thing they want. Yeah, a resume. Resume. So resume is not the only thing that we deal with, but it's a really important part of the whole process. First we want you to, be working on the major that you want to pursue and learning more about your field and be pretty sure about that. But at the same time, you want to start working on your resume because you'll need it pretty quickly. Okay. Even if you go up to an employer and you're not really ready for an internship yet, maybe you're a true freshman, maybe you're a first semester transfer student, it's the first semester of your junior year and you're just not ready yet. That's okay. But we want to get you started with your resume because, and these two big student leaders here can help you understand more too. It's what employers look for right away because it's basically you on paper, but it's like the professional you. It's kind of like LinkedIn, right? You know what Facebook is? That's friends and family. LinkedIn is more the professional side of things, right? The resume is also professional. It's you on paper. What are you studying? What have you done? Do you volunteer anywhere? Do you even work a part-time job? That's really relevant too. So we have a system that uses artificial intelligence, and I don't know if they like it or not, but It's called VMOC. The name is weird. I don't know why it's called VMOC. That's the name of the company. Don't blame me. It has nothing to do with a practice interview or a mock interview. It has to do with the resume. So it's an AI system that allows you to create and perfect a resume that's going to get through applicant tracking systems and is going to be attractive to employers when you present it to them. So resume creation perfection system. We also have a new component called Resume Optimizer. I don't know if y'all know about this, but we have a new component where, and you've probably heard of this other places, you can basically take a job description or an internship description, you can plug it into that system where you already have your resume, click go, and it will compare your resume to the description. And it'll tell you what you're missing to be competitive. We got it for free too, because I'm really tough when it comes to that with vendors. I play the poor card all the time and it works. But it's true. We don't have tons of money to spend. And this is an expensive resource, but it's really worth it because the reason, part of what we use it to is, and these two will know, we're always here to work with you, but this allows you to move at your own pace. We don't have to be open because in reality, our office, I'm one of 3 career coaches. 3. We have almost 5,000 students, So there is no way we can sit down with every single student and go through their resume. So, and not every student needs our help. These two probably are good examples. They probably had a really good resume to start with. It probably took them 1 or 2 attempts through here to get the score they needed. So anyway, really great feature there because it allows you when you're applying for internships and full-time jobs, even part-time jobs to pay the bill, it's allowing you to make sure that you're going to be really competitive for that opportunity and hopefully land an interview because that's what the resume is for. So resume really important and something that, and you may feel like you don't have anything to put on the resume. I promise you, you do. You definitely do. Every student does. Since I've been in this field for a while, I think back to my college self and I'm like, gosh, I had no idea. I remember thinking no one would be interested in the part-time jobs I had, but I worked my way part-time all through undergrad school, full-time all through grad school. They weren't related to what I planned to do, but I got a lot of good transferable skills. I learned how to work with the public. I learned how to present. I learned how to be a leader. I didn't know what any of that meant. Nobody had helped me with that. So believe me, and these two could probably talk about it too. You have so much more that you can get on your resume that employers will be looking for than you probably realize at this point. So we're here to help you realize that. Get it down on paper, make sure it's worded the right way, it's formatted the right way so it'll be attractive to them. And then before you know it, you're going to be really competitive for opportunities that are available. Okay, I did go through that pretty fast. Okay, so I really want to hone in on internships now because has everybody heard that saying, I can't get the job without experience, but I can't get the experience without the job. Okay. So what's the answer to that? Yeah, internships. That's the answer. I mean, it's not the only way, but it's the best way typically because internships are, who knows, somebody give me an idea of what an internship is. What do you think it is? I know you've heard it, right? And there's no wrong answer here. Well, I know you know. Okay.
Yeah. Typically, when you apply for an internship, it's because you'd be doing a certain line of business. So, for example, I interned at the Port of Houston doing commercial real estate, something specific. So you get an idea of how they operate their business and like what is their day-to-day activities. So that's one way to get experience. And I'm a finance major, yeah.
So it's directly tied back. I mean, real estate, you could say is like a subset of finance, right? So Brandon had an opportunity and you were one of 3 of our current students that interned there, right? This summer. So yeah, I mean, it's real world experience. They give you real projects. Like it's a real job for that summer or that semester. And what happens is it's directly related to what you're studying or what your intention is. So in Brandon's case, yes, it was real estate, but there's a lot of finance going on in real estate. So he has something directly related where he's using the things he's learned in class, kind of more theory based sometimes. And, sometimes you're taking exams, and sometimes you feel like, how would I apply this? How would I apply it? So the internship is where you apply it. And then it can become really real to you. And then you realize, oh, that's why we learned that in class. Or now I see how it can be used in multiple ways within the work setting. And then you claim that on your resume. You list that internship, you list down the things that you did in your internship, the things you achieved. And that is what's going to be usually the most meaningful to employers. Okay. So internships are the key to get that experience you need so you can be competitive for full-time roles. Okay. Now, we do have an internship program. The reason we have a program is we have requirements we want you to complete so that we feel sure that you are prepared to talk with an employer, you know how to follow up with an employer, you'll know how to interview with an employer, but it doesn't mean that you're on your own. We just kind of establish that as a baseline, and then we want to continually be working with you as you're looking at internships and as you're growing every semester. The internship program gives you access to the internships that come through our office. And then through that program, we also talk to you about other ways you can locate internships because they're all over the place. They could be on Indeed, they could be on LinkedIn, you could learn about an opportunity at a networking event somewhere. You could meet one of our employers at career fair. They are there with active positions available, largely internships, sometimes full-time jobs as well. But the intention is to make sure you're kind of prepared for that next step, right? We don't want you to not be prepared for your dream employer. If that's your dream employer, we want to make sure you make a good impression right away. Okay, so internships are important because you can gain exposure to your chosen field. You can establish networking connections as well. Keep in mind what I said earlier. So I think Brandon had a really positive internship experience, not just with the port, but also what he was able to do. He was like, ooh, this is a career option for me that maybe he hadn't thought of before. I don't know. He took a break for a second. Yeah, I have to ask him. But so you might find that it's the right fit. You might also find it wasn't the right fit for you. And while you might think, oh, that's not good, what a drag, how embarrassing. It shouldn't be embarrassing at all. An internship it can help you solidify what your plan is, but it might help you see something that you don't think is the best fit for you. And that's okay too. Because either way, you're moving forward in your development and you're basically kind of knocking one more thing off that you don't have to worry about, and you narrow your focus, right? So as you do that, your life becomes a little easier, Yes. So really, really important. Employers expect you to have at least one internship completed, preferably before you graduate. It's not just like, oh, it's optional. That'd be nice. No. You should really think of it as a requirement. Okay. Now, the university and the college, it's not a requirement through your degree plan. It's listed on there, okay, as an elective. But what I would tell you is it is required. Okay. It is required. If you do not have one, you need to have already directly related experience in some other way. And sometimes our students have that. They may already be, like for accounting, often we'll have students they might have a bookkeeping job they've had. Although, let me take a step back. Although that's accounting related, it doesn't require a degree, and it still would not be the same as an internship with an accounting firm where they're doing tax or audit, right? Because we're talking about different levels of positions. When you've got positions that don't require a degree, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. And I know everybody in here is working at least part-time. I don't remember if y'all are or not, but there's nothing wrong with a job that's paying the bills. It might be somewhat connected or not related at all to what you're planning to do. But they don't require a degree typically. What you're preparing for are positions that require a degree. And to go for those, to be competitive for those, you really have to have an internship under your belt. Okay. So at least one. You can do more. We all know students I know one student always comes to mind. She did 5. I don't know how she did it. She's a mom. I think she was working full time. How many have you done? Just one so far. She did 5. Okay. I don't know how she did it. You don't have to do 5. Just do at least one. Because remember too, that it's not just about what employers expect later. It's also an opportunity for you to make a connection with an employer, to refine what your career focus is. Okay. Oh, okay. So you're thinking, how in the world am I going to now fit this in with being a full-time student, working a part-time job? What is he asking? I know it's a lot. Okay. It's just another sacrifice. You all already, we're so glad you're here because it takes a lot to even think you can handle college, to enroll in college, to actually start your classes. That's huge right there. So I have to commend you for that. I'm glad that you recognize you have the talent that you can handle college. So all the sacrifices you're making, okay, the late nights, the early mornings, the lack of sleep, the cost of it, all of that, it's going to be worth it. But the internship's how you can ensure that it's all been really worth it for you. But you have to plan ahead, like when you plan out your classes, right? You have that planning sheet. Internships, try to plan as far out as you can. Y'all may not know this, but through our Gator Hire system right now, I'm seeing internships as far out as fall 2026. That's 2 years away. Okay. Now, you may not be able to plan that far out, but employers are planning that far out. So people may say the economy is bad. I'm like, actually, it's not that bad. I mean, full-time jobs maybe aren't as robust in Houston as they are in like Dallas and Austin. I think are the leaders in this state. But with internships, gosh, you have tons and tons of internships. And that's really good for you all. You're not looking for full-time right now. You're just looking for an internship. So you want to start at least 2 or 3 semesters before you plan to have the internship. You can even start the semester before. But it's never too early to start thinking about the companies that you're interested in, looking at what they have available, when they tend to be available. Some of our companies, organizations have internships year round, fall, spring, and summer, and they're semester based, by the way. Okay. Some of them largely do it during the summer. When it's fall or spring, it's typically part-time in nature. So it's 10 to 15 hours a week. That's how you're able to juggle it with classes. Okay. Because what you have to remember is they are interested in you because you are a college student, because you are on track for your degree. So they're going to work with you. They do not expect you to work full time during the fall or spring. They just want to get 10 to 15 hours a week, could be full day on a Friday, could be some other evening hours or some other hours during the week. But during the summer, they typically want 40 hours a week. And that's probably what yours was, right? Yeah. Sorry? Say again? Accounting's up. Oh, well, I know. Like that's, let me just, no. Yeah, accounting's a different bird. I don't know if I'll go there right now because nobody in here is accounting. Well, there we go. Accounting's a different bird. Yeah, we won't talk about that. It's rather confusing. But research and internships. So once again, resume really important. Knowing how to write a cover letter. It's not always required, but you want to know how to write one if it seems necessary or you want to submit one. Attend the career fairs, the job fairs, chance to meet companies in person, make connections with them. They will remember you. You may not realize this, and y'all probably experienced this. They're really good at their jobs. These recruiters, if they've been trained properly, they're really good at what they do. They will remember students, and they don't write you off right away. They'll look to see your development. Sometimes you're not what they're looking for the first time they meet you. Sometimes you're not who they're looking for the second time they meet you or interview with them. But you can keep going back because remember what I said earlier, what's happening with you every semester? You're growing and changing, right? You're learning more and more. You're getting more experience. You're learning how to present yourself better. You're gaining confidence. As you do well in your classes, you meet your classmates, you sync up with leaders and join student organizations. You'll start to realize what you have to offer. And then you're more confident when you go up and talk to the employers because they want you to succeed. I'll tell you that. They want you to, we all do. They want you to succeed. And if they're going to bring you on for an interview, they want to make sure you're going to be a good candidate because otherwise they look bad. So everybody is in it for the same reason. Start networking as early as you can. And then we already talked about researching internships as well. Have there been any questions, by the way, online? Okay. Any questions in here? Okay. All right. So this is just a graphic for, I don't know why it's specifying summer internships, but for smaller companies, you probably could have a shorter timeline of when you start and then plan to have the internship. For larger companies, you want to start earlier. Case in point. So ExxonMobil, before they moved so many of their supply chain, or sorry, MIS roles overseas, they used to come to us every fall to recruit MIS majors for internships. And I think they would look at computer science as well back then. Well, things have really changed with them, so they don't come anymore. But the point is, they only came in the fall semester. So they came one time a year, but the whole year. So students who mentioned they were interested in Exxon, I think you did, didn't you mention Exxon? Yeah. So students would have to be ready to talk with them in the fall, even if they didn't want to intern until like the next fall, because they would recruit a year in advance, basically, or just one time a year. So the total process of finding an internship and applying and interviewing for it can take several weeks or even months. Okay. It's not a full-time job, but it is a commitment the employer is making, and they want to make sure that the students they line up are the best that they can get, and that those students are going to stick with their promise after they accept the internship. Okay. Well, I talked about this already. So we're always here to help you, even if you're not in the internship program, but we really ask that you do join. It's another resource to get access to opportunities. When you join, your resume is marked as internship eligible. So it allows us then to, not only can you then apply for internships in our system, but when recruiters reach out last moment, and often they do this, help, we just got approval for this intern to come on board, or help, we just had this intern who went back on their promise to come in as an intern and we have an empty slot. We need resumes. So we do a search of our resume database, but we only include the resumes that have been approved, because we don't want to send a resume out that doesn't represent you well. But that doesn't do you any favors. It actually hurts you. Okay. So if you've gone through VMOC, you've gone through the office, a resume is approved, then you can be included in those searches. And we basically send a PDF, what we call resume book, PDF of resumes, and the employer sorts through them. And then they choose who. And then they start making phone calls to schedule first round interviews. Then they might have second round interviews, and then they make offers. They may or may not let us know what's going on in the process. Okay. But we get those requests pretty often. So that's another reason you want to have your resume approved in there, join the I program, because your resume is working for you nonstop. You also want to be using the system pretty regularly, at least a couple times a week. But we might be sending your resume out. So every day I'm looking at the jobs and internships that come in. Let's see. I can't remember what I looked at on Monday. I think I looked at several hundred on Monday. Didn't clear them all out. Today, when I came in, because I was out yesterday, there were over 500 total jobs sitting in there. I'm like, oh. I go through every single one of them. I go through every single one of them. And the bulk of them are internships. And so the point I'm making is every day there are new jobs that come in and internships, and there are ones that expire. I would hate for you to miss seeing those, because sometimes I've seen opportunities that come in, they're only open for like a week. The employer gets to decide that when they post it. We don't know what their situation is. But usually if we post it for at least a month or so, because I figure that's a decent amount of time for them. So you want to, move quickly. Time is of the essence. No, I haven't been doing that. So there are steps to join. They're called pathways in our system. So it's basically steps you complete to join. One is to get that resume score of 85 or higher in VMOC. You load it into Gator Hired. There's an enrollment webinar you complete. It's basically on demand. Is there a question? Yes, question. All right, so the methodology I use for the internships when I'm going through them is if they are local, it doesn't matter if they're in person, hybrid, or remote. Okay? If they're remote, so then they can be somewhere else in Texas. They could be somewhere else in the country. They could be somewhere else in the world because they're remote. Okay. But if they are in Washington State, a fall semester, I probably won't let it show. Yeah. So we do get this what's called a curated feed that are the company that owns the platform we use. It's called Simplicity, but we call it Gator Hire. They provide this curated feed to us. And I'm able to decide from what areas I want to receive jobs. So I usually choose most of the big metro areas because I figure our students probably more likely to consider larger metro areas than kind of a smaller something in the middle of the farm country or something like the Corn Belt or whatever you want to call it. More diverse locations are better probably for our students. But I also know if they have something really specific they're looking for, they're going to go find that. But I'm trying to make sure that what we have appeals to our mass audience of our students. So yes, I do have methodology I employ really specifically for positions. And I'm more flexible for the internships. But yes, if they're remote, they'll be anywhere because it doesn't matter where they are. So that means that you could have something with a company remotely that you would never move to work for, but you could work for them remotely. There's some we even get from Germany and they're fully remote, right? So why would I not let that show? But I try to be careful otherwise. If they're, like I said, if they're fall or spring in particular, they need to be more kind of Houston. If over the summer though, if it's an internship, it can be pretty much anywhere as well. Because we've had students go to San Francisco for an internship with an accounting firm. We've had students go to, was it Utah or Nevada? I forgot. And so that student, he ended up going to work for them full time. He moved to that state to go work for that company. It was Panasonic Energy, the name of the company. You know who that is? I'm not naming names, but I can say the company, Panasonic Energy. So, and those were both undergraduate students, by the way, not graduate, undergraduate students who one went across the country for an internship, one went across the country for an internship, and then accepted a full-time role with that same company because he's following his passion. And I think that's something I would really recommend you all think about. I know that, culture is so important. Your family is so important to you, but this is about your career and you're going to bust your behinds to do well, right? You really should dream big and you should go for it. Okay. You can always come back to Houston. Okay. No one's saying go away forever, go for an internship, even a full-time job. We're talking about 2-3 years, maybe. Some companies now are even like, hey, we'll take a year. They give us a year. I'm like, what? Yeah, they'll take a year sometimes. So you're not tied to something forever. And you should always be looking anyway. You should always be looking at the next opportunity. So I would say, look at what the opportunity is. Yes, think about where it is as far as safety, things like that. Make sure you have, that you would feel like you could identify with groups there, that there's diversity there. And, those things are really important. But don't limit yourself, especially if you're single. And you can go anywhere. You can go to Hawaii if you want to. You can go overseas if you want to. Do it. Because once you get married, less opportunity for that. If you have kids, way less opportunity for that. Okay. Unless that other spouse is just willing, like, sure, go do whatever you want. I'll just stay here and take care of the kids and work full time. And yeah, that's not the real world too much anymore. So dream big. Okay. You don't have to be tied to Houston. But Houston's always here. And actually, if you go and get the experience wherever you need to go and get it, or wherever you want to go get it, you'll be more competitive for roles in Houston. I hope that answers the question. It's more than they wanted to know, I'm sure. And then we don't have a workshop, but we ask you to complete a practice interview with us in person or through the system. Let's see how we're doing on time. Oh, shoot. Okay. All right. So one thing you may not know, your degree plan lists out think it's 4380. There's a section for every major in our college that's the internship course. You can actually get credit for an internship. You can do that twice. Isn't that something? So we're not giving you credit for earning, like if it's paid, not that. And it's not just because it's a job, so to speak. It's about the learning. Because what I say earlier, an internship is what? What are you doing in an internship? You're applying what you learned in the classroom, right? So it's an extra learning. It really solidifies what you've learned in the classroom. You're really able to apply what you learned in the classroom. So the college then, the university will recognize that and we'll give you 3 hours of credit for that semester. Counts towards an upper level elective credit. And you can do that twice. They just have to be two separate internships. Preferably a different employer, but could be the same employer if it's a different internship. Get 3 hours of credit. Most of the time they're paid. The grade you get as an SRU, so it does not impact your GPA, but you get 3 credit hours. So you did it. Okay, for credit. Okay. Yeah. What's the downside to that? Getting paid, getting credit, getting experience. You're a step closer to what you plan to do. There's just no downside to it. But the planning is really important because often what our students won't realize, and we get it because you're busy, you want to have the internship solidified, request credit before you begin the internship. So if you're thinking, hey, I'd love to have, I've got this internship for fall, you know about this in the middle of the summer. If you want to try to get credit, you start applying for it then. You just go through your Gator Hired account. We can walk you through it. You just apply for it. What happens is our department reviews it, make sure it's truly an internship. Your academic success coordinator ensures that you have one of those elective courses available to use as your internship. And then the department chair for your major does the final sign off. Says, yes, I recognize this would be a good experience with the student and they've got our blessing to go and they're going to get 3 hours of credit when they complete that internship. And you can do that twice. Once again, there's only one major that has a requirement of something like that, but the rest of you, it's not a requirement in your degree plan. But I said earlier, right, that it's really think of it as you really need to have at least one. Oh, so it's called field experience. Sorry, I never remember the name here at this university. Field experience, okay, is what it's called. And they're by permission only. So when you go in to sign up for classes, even if you see it, you won't be able to sign up for it. Because what happens is you have to go through the process I just described first. Secure it, request credit, get approval, then you're invited to sign up for the course. So keep in mind, that can help you maintain a full-time student status, right? It's 3 hours of credit, it's a whole class. Counts for a whole class. So if you have scholarships, financial aid, you always want to double check, make sure, I can't say for sure a blanket statement, but usually an internship for credit usually would count towards your total credit hours for that semester, would not interfere with scholarships and things like that. And you're getting paid and you're getting experience and you're making a connection with the company. There really is just no downside to it. Now you might be scared to do it, right? But keep in mind, companies don't expect you to know everything when you go as an intern. Matter of fact, they probably, they know you know a certain amount. They know you don't maybe know how to apply it. So what they structure internships so that these are things that you can do, but they will stretch you a little bit. You might make some mistakes. You might be asked to do something that you don't know how to do, and you might make some mistakes. Now that's okay because you're learning. You're an intern. You're not a full-time hire. Now later, they'll expect you to be able to walk in and be able to do everything without any supervision. Internships are about supervision and mentoring. When we look at internships with companies, because I have someone right now submitting something that's like a local gym, and I'm like, that's just a part-time job. That's not an internship. It's great if you need that. We can post it as a part-time job. That is not an internship. You want them to do everything that you'd have a full-time candidate or a part-time candidate do, working at the front desk. Basically, what they want is they want an intern that they don't have to pay. No, that's not how it works. That is of no benefit to our students. You all can go get that job now. Even if you want to run a gym, that's not an internship. It's giving you no more exposure than just being an hourly employee. So these employers structure these internships to take advantage of what you've learned, what you can do, so that they can test you out and you can test yourself out as well. Like I said, you can do the course 2 separate times. All right. So I'm finishing up real quick. Does everybody feel like they have the professional clothing they need to interview with companies? Okay. So that's okay. We have 2 community entities we work with that provide free professional clothing to our students. One of them is called Career Gear. So it's for those who identify as male. We have Dress for Success for those who identify as female. The way it works is we're basically like a community partner, I think, with them. And so essentially we are able to refer clients to them to get free professional clothing. So when I meet with a student, we basically set up a date and a time that student shows up at that location. They usually do 2-hour sessions with each student. So the first hour is it's almost like career services stuff they do. They want to get a sense of like what you're majoring in, what your goals are, kind of career goals. They might ask you some interview questions. They just want to get a sense of how prepared you are kind of in general for talking with employers. Then the second hour is all about getting you measured, choosing outfits, having you try things on, getting you fitted for that. And when you walk out the door, you walk out with an entire suit. And for men, it could mean you also get a tie, you also get shoes, you also get a belt, you also get socks. It depends on what they have. Women, same thing. Full outfit. Okay. And they may have extra things, brooches and necklaces and bracelets and toes, shoes. And I've heard some of the stuff for the women's like couture. Like really high. They have really great community support. But come see us. All you have to do is come see one of us for an appointment or like a quick walk-in, drop-in that we have. We have those sessions twice a day. And we just set you up. So basically when you're looking for an internship, you get one suit. And then when you land an internship or a full-time job nearer to graduation or maybe in a year before for accounting majors, you can go back and you get 5 more. So you can have 6 complete outfits, suits. And then for men, that usually means, okay, that's 5 or 6 suits for them they'll wear. For the women, that means, oh, that might be like 15 outfits for you because you can mix, women usually mix and match a lot more than men do. All free. Okay. So this helps ensure you have the clothing that employers are largely expecting. You'll have the clothing that the other candidates are wearing at the other schools. Okay. And it's okay. Stuff's expensive. Okay. And also, let me tell you, students at all the other schools are going too. It's not just us. They're connected to every single school, nonprofit entities, state entities, because there's need all over Houston, not just for food and stuff like that. There's need for clothing. People don't have what they need to be competitive. So the worst thing in the world is if you have all the skills you need, you've had this internship, and you're not able to look the part, right? It may seem unfair, but these companies have a right to expect a certain look. The accounting firms are well known for, I don't want to sound bad, but they're almost cult-like the way they look. They all look the same, they talk the same, they walk the same, but they have a certain look that they want, and they always get it. So they're allowed to have an expectation of that. We can help you have the clothing so that you're right in line with whatever company, whatever industry you want to pursue. This is a rundown. Certainly the students online can see this better than the ones in here, but this is a rundown of the events we're having this semester just in the Business Career Center. So we've already had the internship symposium. We already had a boot camp for career fairs that are coming up later in the month. We just had yesterday our student org day and pizza party that these 2 folks were at representing student organizations. I think you're with 3 orgs, aren't you? Oh, you were 6 orgs. Okay. Overachievers, but this is what you want. These are the students you want to talk to. You can see all the other events we're going to be having. So the career fair, largely for accounting finance majors, is on September 20th. And then for all the other majors, largely those companies are going to be coming on the 27th. It's over in A300. It's over by the food court. And you're walking that way, off to the right. It's called A300. There's 3 separate ballrooms there. That's where we hold these career fairs. And we do want you to come dressed kind of professionally if you can, at least, dress pants, dress shirt. If you can then get a tie on, that's good. If you can then get a coat on, that's good. You don't have to be in a whole suit per se, but we don't want really casual clothing. We don't want shirts. We don't want jeans. We don't want tennis shoes. Okay. We want to make sure that you're comparable in every way to students at all the other colleges and universities in Houston, because you are. Okay. But we want to make sure that you give the right impression in every way, shape, and form. And so, you can see here, we do have a JCPenney on 929. We are going to have an event with them where they'll have discounted clothing that you can purchase. Not going to be free. Okay. So I still say go for Dress for Success and career gear. And then on the 17th of October, we're going to have our etiquette dinner. So that's learning how to interview over a meal, dining etiquette. What fork do you use? What spoon do you use? Where does the napkin go? Where's the bread supposed to be? Where's my, water supposed to be? What do I do if I have to get up? What do I have to do if I have to sneeze? All those kind of etiquette things. And then this is our location. We're right off the main lobby of the College of Business building down the hill. So our hours during when classes are in session, Monday, Thursday, and Friday, we're 8 to 5. But Tuesday and Wednesday, we're open till 7. So that gives you sometimes students who take classes in the evening, or it just works better for them. They come see us in the evening. Our numbers there, our website is just uhd.edu/COB career. And then our email is cobcareercenter@uhd.edu. So we are here to help. We don't expect you to have the answers, so don't be scared, okay? We were all in college too. And I have to tell you, I never used my career center when I was a college student. So that's part of what drives my passion every day for you all, is because I really wish I had. I made the road a lot tougher for myself. And I'm not the first in my family to go. I'm the baby of 4. So I really had, you could say I had no excuse, but my siblings didn't really help me. They're kind of like, how's things going? Well, it's good. Really like overachievers. Yeah. My siblings are amazing. I love them to death, but I'm just not them. So I just did not take advantage of career services. I really encourage you, come see us, once a semester if you can. Internships so important. I can't stress that enough. I think I'm out of time, right? So I want to see if there's any other questions. Anybody online? Brandon, yes.
If you don't know who to network with, like who are the people that we should start networking with now?
So every day you're in class with who? Other students, right? You should get to know them. But who is leading the class? Professors. So if you all don't know this, you two probably do. Most of our professors in the business school anyway, they come from the corporate world. Their life has not been higher education. They've not only been professors. A lot of them have had their own businesses. They've been CEOs and COOs. They've sold businesses. They've lost businesses. Maybe, they just want to come and share their knowledge with you. A lot of them are like officially retired, so to speak. Like they left that world. They came to higher ed because they want to make a difference. They want you to learn from the things they did well and maybe the things they didn't do well. They want to help you learn your subject, your major, so you can be really competitive. So once again, they want you to succeed. I know they may be very tough. You may have really tough exams, really tough quizzes. They may be really hard on you in the class. They may be really strict about homework and due dates and things like that. But all of it is because workers are not going to give you a break either. And this already. Work even. So that's a huge advantage. Anyway, so those two groups, but also alumni are extremely supportive. They are dying to help you all. I'm just trying to work as quickly as I can to give them avenues, platforms to do that. Our student organizations, you should really plug in with them. These two are huge student leaders. You should plug into these student organizations because it's all these other students with like minds. They all have the same kind of goal, right? Ultimately, same kind of goal. You can help each other learn about opportunities within companies. The orgs work really hard to bring companies in for lots of different things. It doesn't matter what the topic is. The point behind it is you also get to meet the company. They get to meet you. You can maybe give the resume. They will set up interviews from that. You may land an internship because of that. It's another opportunity. LinkedIn's a great platform to connect with alumni too, but often alumni participate with the student orgs. Often they come in as guest speakers to the student orgs, representing their company sometimes too. So don't you feel more comfortable talking to an alum rather than maybe a recruiter that went to Texas A&M, right? I'm trying to think who else. So really, anyone that you run into, friends, family, even if they're not in college, make sure they know what you're studying, kind of what your plan is, what you're looking for, what you're needing these next few years. You never know where that lead might come from. And all you need is a lead. So you can get your resume in there, maybe land an interview, maybe get an offer, and then you've got an internship. So did you want to add to that?
Yeah, just kind of like how Brett said, your closest network are the people that you surround yourself around. I know that because when I transferred here in the fall, I was just going to school and going home. But I then took the initiative in the spring when I talked to a student that sat next to me. We were just talking about the classroom, and they had mentioned that they were part of the student org. And from there, I was able to go to student org events, and that's how I got plugged into being part of student life. And it was through the student org where I actually earned my internship at the Port of Houston. So that's pretty much how networking with the students led to networking with professionals and getting my internship. So
he's also the president of FMA as well. So he learned about the officer roles. I can't remember if you had another officer role beforehand. Oh, okay. You really, oh, wow. He went straight to president then. That's really unusual, but that's good. So see, Brandon basically put himself out there is what he's saying. So I would say put yourself out there every day. Okay. You have nothing to lose. Most of our students are probably going to be just as hesitant. So just break the ice. Just get to know them. You have no idea where their parent works. You have no idea. And you might be thinking, well, that's nosy. I don't know, but you don't have to ask that, but just get to know your classmates. You may not, there's no telling what you might find out. You might also be able to recommend somebody to them. You might say, I just saw this job the other day. Did you see it? This internship. So other questions? Wow. No, easy group. We're just asleep, one of the two. So anyway, I can't encourage you enough to come see us. We are your partner in success. We don't expect you to have it figured out. We're here to help you along the process. The professors take care of the knowledge base and all of that. You need to do really well in your classes because that's how we then can kind of like sell you to the employers, right? And we can work to make sure you give yourself credit on your resume. So employers will really respond to you, and that'll help you land interviews and internships, and eventually full-time jobs as well. So once again, my name is Brett Hobby. I'm the director of the Career Center of the Marilyn Davies College of Business. Maxine Todd's our assistant director. Jacoby Aguilar is one of our career coaches as well. So it's just three of us. We're small, but I think we do a pretty good job. We have really strong connections with our student organizations. You all have so many events. I can't even we have a teams group just between the Career Center and the student orgs because there are that many events they have. I established that because we needed to all be aware of what was going on. Because if an employer walks in our office, I don't want to be like, what? FMA's having an event? Oh, I don't know. I mean, how stupid is that, right? You don't want an employer to ever think the Career Center doesn't know, and the student group doesn't know. So there are so many events for you to plug into. I encourage you to make the most of it. And if you need a cup of coffee works well. But put yourself out there every day and make the most of your time here. We're here to help. So thanks again. Have a good night.
I kind of wish that they had this sort of thing going on. Because I got this year, I was good at school. Don't have it at home.